being a pro gamer means doing what I love to do, and I get paid to do what I love to do, so it's very important to me. It means the world to me.
Everybody knows you, and everybody wants to take a picture with you, and everybody knows you. It's like just super, super awesome.
Personally, I love being a pro gamer. I mean, I love traveling, I love seeing the world. I love meeting new players as well, because there's so many different personalities and nationalities here. It's great to like meet everyone and see how they are.
Being a pro gamer, in the end, is, you could say it's a dream come true, but actually I never expected it to happen. It just happened to me.
I'm so excited to be in the LCS and being able to travel, because I haven't traveled a lot in my life. I've been sitting at home working to become a pro gamer, and it's finally come true, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Who wouldn't love this? I mean, if you love playing computer games, you're gonna love this.
Living in Cologne, practicing every day, playing every week on LCS 3, that's what a pro gamer is for.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever in the world you are watching the European League of Legends Championship Series. As always, I'm your host, Eefje Schoksdepoortere, and I'm delighted to welcome you to the show. Yesterday, Against All Authority grabbed their first victory in the LCS, Gambit got revenge over Giants, and Fnatic beat the Copenhagen Wolves and EG with some extraordinary plays. What tricks do Dragonborns, Giants, Fnatic, Wolves, and AAA have up their sleeves today? We'll find out from Lee, D-Man Smith, and Trevor Quickshot Henry in just a second. But first, let's check out the highlights from yesterday. With a great pink ward out of N-rated, Cyanide is able to sneak up on Godbro unseen. Svenskeren comes just in time, but can't prevent the early 2-0 lead for Fnatic.
Svenskeren now is the target, and they will be first blood, but N-rated gets flipped in towards the turret. He didn't lay down any damage. He is going to walk away with low hit points, and now Godbro is into all sorts of trouble. Cyanide's going to get in there. He has got the flip back up. The cooldown will be available. He goes, rushes in for it. Yellowstar's going to land another shot. It will be the double kill, and there is Yellowstar picking it up.
By baiting the Wolves out of their cages to check Baron, a strong Leona MF combo creates a 4-for-0 opportunity for Fnatic.
Bjergsen got caught out there, immediately gets flipped back into the team, repels away, tries to join his team. There's not a lot of concentrated damage, but there's Peke. He comes through, gets the one, gets the second, trying to go towards Svenskeren. That's going to be Yellowstar that picks up the kill. Shadow Dash straight on towards Godbro. Godbro goes down. It's a triple kill for Peke.
With Mordant focusing his ganks on the mid and top lane, he creates a strong advantage for Giants.
The stun card comes in, the flip comes through, intervention is running. They're going to turn it back up towards Extermin. Extermin roots out. Just managed to get the slowdown, and it will be Mordant. Picks up the kill on Alex Ich once again.
Gambit struck back though, baiting the Giants into a team fight that would end up with a 4-for-0 exchange, as well as one inhibitor and one Nexus turret.
Samux is going to dive in. He tries to turn and burn. Can he get in towards Darian? Samux taken. Oh no, the true shot barrage flashes past from Gedge there. Picks up a double kill. Mord's going to go down. It's going to be another. And that's Alex Ich who picks it up. Jim Burns tries to get away, but he's going to get dropped as well. That's a double kill for Alex Ich.
Despite the Giants' excellent early game, Gambit gets their revenge over the Spaniards.
The Nexus turret goes down, and the Nexus will follow as Gambit Gaming should close out the final victory.
With their AP superstar back in the mid lane, Copenhagen Wolves take an early advantage with an amazing play from Bjergsen, allowing them to pick up 2 kills for 1.
But here comes Bjergsen from the side. Virtual going to be the target. Flashes away from the shockwave. That was brilliant. Virtual going to go down. Sona is thrown back in there by Volibear. What can they do here? They're all having to stay back because they're all very, very low. Svenskeren picks up the kill in the end.
As Against All Authority has Baron, the Wolves defend their territory in the mid lane and get a solid engage, killing Nono instantly. However, with excellent play, the fight ends with AAA picking up a 4-for-2.
Schleier coming in, Box goes down. Wolves taking a lot of damage from that one. They may have gone too far in this one. They are losing everyone. Godbro going low. He will die there in the end. Test trying to get away.
AAA don't let go of their stranglehold onto the Wolves, picking up their first win in the European LCS.
They've already lost one Nexus turret. There's loads of super minions in there as well. The Nexus itself is going to go down, and Against All Authority gonna put Copenhagen Wolves 0-7 down.
Sporting a highly unusual Blitzcrank pick, Soaz helps to secure a double kill as well as the top outer turret.
Yeah, but is it going to be enough? The grab coming in onto Snoopy. He's pulled back in there. That's 2 kills.
Soaz continues his reign of terror. As Yellowstar gets caught, a max range pull saves MF, and suddenly Froggen is in a very bad position.
Yeah, we are going to see Enrated go in. There's the bullet time coming down as well. Froggen going to get egged right in the middle of the team. He is a dead man from that one. And what a pickup.
With the fear of the grabs in EG's eyes, Soaz lands another excellent pull onto Anivia, which gives them the middle inhibitor and eventually the win.
The stun comes in onto Yellowstar. Enrated in the middle. They pull Froggen right to the back. He gets egged up. Xpeke going low. Gets the Kale ultimate on him, and that could just be enough to really swing this fight. Fnatic gonna beat Evil Geniuses.
What a game. They clearly showed they had a game plan. They executed it well. Congratulations to Fnatic.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Caster Desk. I am joined, of course, by Quickshot. I am Lee D-Man Smith, and we are going to talk about, firstly, the results you just saw on your screens. And, well, it's some interesting games, but the big one was the last game of the day.
Yeah, you know what, Fnatic, they just sat down, they showed that they wanted to do something a bit different, and they managed to play their game plan, so congratulations to them. Let's take a look at the quick results graphic for the day. Game number 1, Copenhagen Wolves, they lost again to Fnatic, but Gambit did get revenge against the Giants.
They did, of course, and against all authorities, they had a tricky start, as you just saw there, against Copenhagen Wolves, but they did manage to pick up that win, taking Copenhagen Wolves 0-7. It's a horrible position to be in. Nobody wants to be there, but it is the Wolves that find themselves in it. And of course, Fnatic, they did pick up the win, taking them 4-1 against Evil Geniuses. They are 5-2 currently. So let's check out those standings. Of course, the league table as it stands in the European style, I think you'll find it is going to be Evil Geniuses at the top of the league, 5-2, Fnatic 4-1, and Gambit, of course, picking up the win yesterday, taking them to 4-2.
Yeah, SK Gaming, OZONE, Giants, AA, all the way down the ladder. And, you know, there's a lot of pressure on the Wolves now. They've got a game later today. They're 0-7. They've already lost 25% of their matches. You know, 28 games in the season, and they've lost 7 already. It's a scary, scary number. I do mention the percentages because Reddit was talking about, you know, the standings and everything.
Indeed.
It is win percentage over at lolesports.com. So if you're taking it out, taking a look at all of the stats and the information, it is, of course, a win percentage, which is how those teams are ranked there.
Yeah, and of course you can check out, there's a lot of information on there, the stats, results, replays, all the videos that's happened. We are in week 3, of course. You can go back and check all the matches. There's been some fantastic games so far in the North American and the European League of Legends Championship Series. Get on there, lolesports.com. So today's match, it is going to be Dragonborns versus the Giants. That is the first match of the day. We'll be covering that one, of course, and Fnatic against all authority. Easy for me to say.
I knew it was going to happen. I said it in rehearsal.
We should have said versus.
I baited you into that. Game number 3, we will see Joe and Jason take the stage, and it's going to be Dragonborns versus the Copenhagen Wolves, and finally Giants versus against all authority for the last matchup of the day.
So some big games today. Could be interesting ones because there's a lot of teams in there that really want to pick up wins, want to get it flowing, want to get into those big teams. The fact that we have now EG, Fnatic, Gambit all at the top. These are teams that expected to be at the top there, and they are currently there. But can somebody challenge them?
Well, I'm very excited to see Dragonborns and against all authority. You know, they've only played a couple of games between them. There's not too many on the board, and it's going to be interesting to see how they develop, how they play, what sort of strategies are going to come out. And, you know, they're challenging Giants. Giants, of course, they've already defeated Gambit Gaming today already. So I'd like to see how they're going to handle the teams that already solidified, played a number of games in the LCS.
Well, we've got some great games lined up today, and we want to hear what you've got to say about every single one of them. So we're going to go over to Shox, who's on the main stage with all the information.
Thank you, Lee. As always, we want to hear your thoughts, and we've got today's Twitter question for you. Here it is. Which player has impressed you the most in the LCS so far, and why? If you say, oh my god, Diamond Prox on that Volibear impressed me so much, or St. Vicious over in NA on Hecarim, he played an amazing horse, tweet us at LOLesports, #LCS, and let us know what you think. We'll respond to your tweets later in the show. Now we're going into a short break, but after this break, we're diving into our first matchup of the day. Dragonborns, they beat SK Gaming last week, but what can they show us versus Giants? We'll find out in just a second.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. First up today, it's going to be the Dragonborns versus Giants. It is the Spaniards. Can they pick up a win, or will the Dragonborns get another game under their belt? Let's check out the lineups for the Dragonborns. To start with, it is going to be Spontex, Maluno, Shushe, Hosan, and Movet.
And of course, for the Giants, Samux, Morden, Exterminare, Jim Bones, and Babetta.
So, some interesting, lively, aggressive lineups from these two teams. Both teams are pretty active. So I'm expecting to see something pretty impressive from these guys. Let's check out Dragonborns, of course, we have highlighted for you. It is Maluno. He is the new man in the team, effectively. We obviously had Hosan on here yesterday talking about how they hadn't really had much time before their first few games to practice. They've had a couple of weeks break now, so they should be well oiled now.
And Maluno's going to be here for a while. Hosan mentioned it yesterday, potentially 2 or 3 months. So it's not like this is a small stand-in. Maluno's going to be part of the core of the team for an extended time. And of course, Hosan, the danger man, played 2 games in LCS so far, played Draven in both of them, and done exceptionally well. So I wonder if we're going to see a Draven ban coming out of the Giants.
Indeed, and of course, looking at the Giants, it is going to be Extermin. He's the man in the middle, and he's been playing some fantastic Rise action, double, triple Rod of Ages. Also, he's had a Cassidin in there that's been interesting. Still, what really will we see? Yesterday, we had a Twisted Fate come out that was actually really good, and he beat Alex Ich in that mid lane, which is no easy feat.
And you do have to give a lot of credit to Morden's ganks as well. He was playing Volibear at the time, spent a lot of time putting a huge amount of pressure in that middle lane, so it allowed Exter to really get the leg up and continue pushing the lanes. The problem fell apart as the game progressed, though, and that's something that the Giants have shown. They do have some chinks in their armor once they get to the mid to late game stages, not really being able to push lanes and towers and get those objectives like they really need to.
And of course, those objectives will be the things they're aiming for, but the picks and bans will be coming up in just a few moments. But of course, as always, we had a chance to catch up with the players. It's great that we have them based here. We can do these beautiful videos for you. Let's have a check out what they had to say about one another.
Yo creo que Dragonborns juega un estilo muy agresivo. En la fase de líneas luego tienen buenos movimientos.
They don't do super crazy stuff in game, but they have some different picks.
Su 6 es, digamos, más que neutralizar sería el que más débil y podemos sacar ahí más. Si puede hacerlo muy bien o muy mal.
All week we're gonna analyze their gaming, where they work, what they play, what they like, what they don't like, and try to come up with a good strategy against that.
Well, you have to check out Shushe in that mid lane. SK Gaming tried to do that, but unfortunately they got caught out. That double snipe shot really did turn the game for Dragonborns last week. The question is, can they do it again? What sort of picks and bans are we expecting here, Trevor?
Well, I said in the beginning, we're talking about the 80 players. Hosan's Draven is just so talked about right now. He's using him really, really well, and it's such a powerful champion. And it was really that Draven and Taric combination that helped them snowball and get control of that bottom lane. But for the Giants, we've been talking about their bottom lane equally, if not more. AD Kennen has been comboed with Zyra, has been comboed with Sona. They've run all sorts of CC-heavy comps. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some bans going in that direction. But it also needs to be mentioned is the AP mid players. Rise for Exter in particular, Lux, Vi for Shushe as well. It's a number of picks, and I can see we are into the ban stage already. Kennen, Draven, Twisted Fate, Thresh.
Yeah, so kind of expected bans here, taking away really the main players. Rise is still available, at least being banned out there towards the end. Obviously, Samux has been picking that one a few times. The final ban that did come in, we'll find out in a second. Vi, though, being picked up by the Dragonborns. That could be a mid lane Vi. We've seen Shushe running it in the live qualifiers before. The question is, will it be there? Xin Zhao was the final ban as well. So Rise is available.
Rise is available, so is Zyra. There's a number of champions here that we can talk about. Exter in particular has played a huge collection of different champs in that mid lane. Zyra's been one of them, Rise has been another one, and it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to play. In terms of the AD carries, Draven and Kennen both gone, right? So it means they're going to have to pick something different. Hosan in particular, he played a very, very good Ezreal at the qualifiers in Poland, but we haven't seen him on too many other champions against these top-tier teams. But Jim Bones, he has played Cogmore, he has played Caitlyn as well.
Well, we had an interesting discussion with Hosan while we're at the live qualifiers, and he said at the time, Draven's not even my main champion. Ezreal was. So, it does leave Ezreal open. We do see Caitlyn potentially being picked up. The Caitlyn Sona lane, it is a heavy poke lane, and it is looking like it's going to get locked in there. So, what will Dragonborns respond to this? Will we see the Ezreal?
It wouldn't surprise me, but I wonder if they might not try to pick some, other picks. If they decide to go the response to this bottom lane, it's safe. It allows them to almost counter-pick whatever comes next. Giants will need to reveal their hands. Kha'Zix and Kayle looks like it's being picked up. Has been locked in.
Oh, my word.
That's been locked in. And, it's high-pressure champions. Kayle,
that's
you
a lot
can't
of
let Kayle
damage.
through. Shen is still available, and I want to know, I'm interested to see what the Giants decide to pick here. If they want to go for a bit of a safer lane, get that teleport, that map presence from the Stand United or not. But they're currently hovering over Jace.
That is a heck of a lot of damage. Rengar possibly being selected here.
We haven't seen a lot of Rengar.
We haven't seen any Rengar, I don't believe.
He took a couple of changes, took a couple of balances in recent weeks and months. And
balances. I like the fact that you use that word, balances. Some would call it nerfs.
I prefer balances.
Well done.
I think that's
being diplomatic.
correct.
We are both right members, so it's good that we go this path.
But Akali's currently being hovered over, and this is something that we've seen and we've talked about a lot. Wicked in particular running Akali up in that top lane, almost building tanky, getting those, warmogs, getting some armor up there, etc., and building her with still some damage, but a lot of focus on that tank ability and survivability. And it does look like that's going to be the pick.
This is close to yesterday's picks for Giants. They had Samux in that top lane, they had the Volibear, they had the Caitlyn and the Sona. So this is very much the team of yesterday. Didn't quite work out against Gambit. As it is for Dragonborns, they have so much damage here right now. They got the Kha'Zix. Is that going to be Shushei in the middle on Vi? Is it going to be Kayle? They don't know. How do Giants pick against this when they don't even know they're up against themselves?
It's really, really difficult. It's complete guesswork here, and really knowing your opponent's play from solo queue, from ranked play, from scrims, etc. So we'll see who's managed to get the most information. But interestingly, we're down to the last pick. Renekton hasn't been touched. And Renekton's been one of those champions that's sort of been the go-to for that top lane for a while now.
It's got to be the Ryze or Kassadin. What do we think? This is going to be the mid lane choice, Extermin.
It's going to be difficult to see because, both champions have got abilities. There's been a lot of talk, and I know about a month ago, over in the Korean scene, a lot of people were thinking that Ryze is a relatively good counter to Kha'Zix because you can just Rune Prism in place. Get your W, back away, and it does look like it might be the pick. Extra so comfortable in Ryze, double, triple, quadruple, a million rod of ages. It gets you excited.
All the rods. I can't carry any more rods. It's his equivalent of Black Cleavers, I believe. So it's interesting team picks here. Do you think we obviously had Hosan yesterday? We had the pleasure of talking to him, and he talked about how his picks. It was a case of they sometimes went for the champion because it was available. Yeah. It wasn't a case of the tactic was worked on. Do you think that's what they've done here, or they've worked for this team comp?
No, and I'll tell you why. The reason I say that, the entirety of Hosan sitting there on the desk next to us, he whipped out his notes. He had his pen and paper. He had notes for every single team, picks and bans. He was theory crafting while working with us. And it just shows a great understanding and a great objective. So they were coming into this game fully aware of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to go for, and they locked in that Kayle and Kha'Zix very, very quickly. And if you think of the combination of Kayle diving forward, or even Vi diving forward, put that intervention on them, Intervention almost single-handedly won the game for Fnatic yesterday. It saved the carries, it allowed them to deal the damage with those two supports, top lane, etc. And if those interventions are on point, it's going to do something similar here for the Dragonborns.
They've also got the dive buddies, of course. The Kha'Zix is going to be leaping in. It's going to get those wings up there. And, well, Vi definitely going to be plowing through the team. How will this work out? It is going to be Shushei. There he is on your screen. He's going to be playing Vi. He's getting his hands warmed up. They're going all flippity-floppity right there on the screen. And that's how you warm your hands up, apparently. That's how a pro gamer does it. Most people, they've got to shake out the lactic acid, as it were, the weightlifters. That is his weightlifting right there, his hands.
And I have to touch as well, both Shushei and Hosan with their hair, their locks down. We talked briefly with Hosan about it yesterday. He said, hair up or hair down? And the reply from Shushei was, well, he ran the whole of Season 1 with his hair down, so that's the trick. But we're into game. Teleport flash for both of our mid laners. So you're going to have Vi, you're going to have Ryze. Really hard-hitting teleport ganks. It's going to be something that each of the lanes needs to be very aware of. Our top laners, Flash Ignite. They're going to be going hyper-aggressive, and I think we need to keep a very close eye on that lane because it's going to be, it's high burst potential, high damage, and they're going to be in each other's faces the entirety of that laning phase.
Well, we do see the Explorer Award going out there from Moveeg in early vision, of course. They want to make sure a lot of research goes into these teams between how much, the level 1 fights, where they're going to go, what position they're going to be in. Moveeg with that Explorer Award, trying to bait out, see if anything go in there, trying to bait out the pink wards effectively because they they purposely say, look, you can see me placing this ward. Do you want to do something about it? As it is, they're not going to.
Now, Giants need to be very, very careful about how they play this out. We've talked about it this entirety of the weekend, and yesterday, Giants, what they did is after warding, they grouped up together, they moved towards the Wraith camp, and they put a ward down in the Wraith camp. It doesn't look like that's going to be the case this time around. As you can see, the Giants members playing very, very defensive. They're not going deep, but the Dragonborns, they were hiding in that red bush, just in the grass behind the red, the lizard buff camp. And if somebody was going to get close enough, a dazzle onto them would almost guarantee first blood.
Well, we do see the teams setting themselves in position. 1 minute 30. The Wolves and Wraiths will be spawning, so junglers take up the position, and you can see Morden starting out. He's going to be happy. We do see the lane starting to position themselves out. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, this is game 1 of week 3, game day 2, whatever you'd like to call it. It is the Dragonborns as the blue team and the red team of the Giants. We are seeing a late invade, just as you touched on a moment ago. It is Dragonborns, though, going for that invade.
Well, they're going to move in here and try to steal away this blue buff. It's very, very good because the Giants have not done any sort of invade themselves. So it's not like they're trading buffs, which is something that we see very often these days in these level 1 exchanges. Teams don't necessarily go for the fights or for the engages. They just simply trade buffs. And this top lane is exactly what I was talking about. Taste of Fear goes down to Samux and he's dropped to 50% HP. But Spontek's missing a lot of health as well.
This is a tricky lane as well because both champions can do a hell of a lot of burst. But what I also want to touch on is the fact that Dragonborns did do that late invade. It does mean they didn't go for golems at the start. So actually Hosan and Mover wouldn't have gained anything in that bottom lane. So it's going to be interesting to see who hits the level 2 first, who goes aggressive first on that bottom lane.
And in terms of this bottom lane as well, with the level advantage, it's going to help a better Sona just get that ability to heal up. As you can see there, immediately gets the W, put some defensive stats onto Jim Bones' Caitlyn, and I want to see how they want to play this out. The Dazzle comes out, and Babetta's in trouble.
They're going to get the damage down on towards Babetta. They continue down there. They might try and go for it. They built the exhaust down in Jim Bones. Here comes Shushe, comes straight around, knocks up Babetta. Is it going to be enough damage? The exhaust, Hosan's in trouble. Barrier's used, and that was a great turnaround kill for Giants there as the teleport from Extermin turns it around. Mouvert's going to go down. It's going to be a double. It is a double kill for Jim Bones. Now they're on Shushe. The Rune Prison goes down. One more shot will be enough. Oh, he's got away. And then now the tower damage on towards Extermin takes him low as well. But the double kill for Jim Bones. Tragedy for Dragonborns.
No ignite there meant they could not kill Babetta. He used his flash. He used his exhaust. He put so much distance between himself and then carries to the bottom lane. Managed to get away. And delaying the use of the exhaust was so key. He did not use it on Hosan as they were battling. He waited until Shushe was there. Not that he knew Shushe was on the way. It was a late reaction, but it was that exhaust that reduced the amount of damage from that, denting blows and the excessive force, and that is what saved him in that bottom lane.
So we'll see how that translates into items in a moment as they will back off. There we go. We see them backing up, and it's a Vampiric Scepter and a Doran's Blade. That's going to hurt the bottom lane. Hosan's going to have his work cut out in that lane. Jim Bones looking very strong early on. So the gold, of course, is all stacked down that bottom. Extermin, of course, picked up 2 assists as well. Let's not forget, he's got himself a Tear of the Goddess already.
The Tear of the Goddess is going to be so key. Start stacking up that mana, get his damage up, allow himself to spam in-game.
Oh, but better cut out. Down the bottom lane is going to be Hosan closing in on him. He's going to back off, though. That pink ward being placed early on.
Just getting a vision out, and you've seen Hosan how timid he was. They knew that they caught Babetta. He didn't want to use the Arcane Shift to close in and start putting more damage on because he had no idea where Jim Bones was. Morden is sniffing around for a kill here, and if they get the Rune Prison into the Rolling Thunder toss, somebody could be in trouble.
Here comes Maluna down the bottom. He's going to pass through the pink ward. He should get the slowdown, but a brilliant net shot there from Jim Bones does manage to stop that attack in its tracks.
Yeah, slows him down immediately, cancels that engagement. A beautiful threading the needle there onto Jim Bones with that mystic shot from Hosan's Ezreal. One of the things that is going to help Ezreal in this bottom lane is that armor aura that Mouvert's Taric is going to be giving him from his Shatter. It's going to reduce quite a lot of the damage that all of those auto attacks and those Piltover Peacemakers are going to be applying from Jim Bones. But it's going to keep him closer, but not necessarily be enough to even it out. 2 kills, they're playing defensive. He's behind on CS already. He's 2 kills behind. And it's going to be up to Jim Bones and Babetta to stomp authority in this lane. Otherwise, all that's going to happen is Hosan will farm himself back into it.
Okay, the lane we haven't had chance to talk about too much is this top lane. You can see it's 42 to 25 CS difference at the moment. Definitely the advantage to Spontex. He was unstoppable in the live qualifiers. How is Samuks dealing with him? You can see he's got the double armor up there, building up the new item.
And of course, Kali in this particular patch, we're on 3.02, so it's effectively live. Her passive has had some changes, so you don't need to have that specific rune page in the lane to get the advantage of her passive. So she's got the dual pen, the mixed penetration runes, which is something we've seen more and more out of Akali. A little bit behind in CS and farm, but she's not feeding kills. She's not giving anything away. She needs to hit level 6 before she can really start trying to put all that damage down, because she has to combo all of her abilities to be able to out-duel.
Well, we did see the jungler up there a moment ago. We do see Maluna having a poke around. Volibear also heading north, so this could be both baiting. They're going to dive in early, though, on towards Samuks there. Gets in towards that Twilight Stride, and he immediately manages to dodge all of the damage from Spontex and Maluna.
Smart play from Maluna. He started, hitting the creeps to get the splash damage over onto Samuks, but you see his health wasn't dropping too significantly. The additional defensive stats that Twilight Stride gives you, albeit not the biggest, it's an extra 10, 15 armor and magic resist. It's definitely going to help out. Maluna wanted to go aggressive again. He's activated the Righteous Fury, but has decided not to go take too much tower arrow.
Well, you say he's laying the A, he's back down. I just say he's doing lane text. just say, he's like, well, I'm not going to get him, so I'm just going to take some farm while I'm here.
But
it's a teleport bottom lane. You can see it's going to be Shushay going down there. Comes in towards it. It's Babetta's going to be the target. Knocks him straight up. The exhaust straight down, but the damage should be enough. Dazzles him in his spot. That's going to be the kill. Immediately, Assault on Battery on towards Jimbo. The exhaust goes down. Is it going to be enough? They're going to try and chase him on towards the turret. Shushay's going deep for this one. They should finish him off. Shushay is very, very low. He is going to pick up the kill there. Charges him down.
Double kill from Shushay. The teleport was great to see Samuks level 6 immediately going aggressive, but coming in from behind, and patience coming out of Shushay. He teleported onto the ward. He was hiding in the grass, and before he committed for the engagement, he waited. He allowed his bottom lane to move up, and that's great play from Shushay, who is almost famous for being caught, behind enemy lines where he didn't need to be.
Very deep stuff there, and of course that turns around the kills. It picks up a double kill for themselves. This time Shushay in that bottom lane. 2 assists for Hosan and Mouvert, which is what they needed from that earlier on failed attempt. Maluno helping out the blue buff there, looking like I think he's probably going to take it himself here. This is an advantage that the jungler of Maluna is definitely going to have over his opposition.
Now this is something that we've touched on a little bit in terms of the different junglers and in terms of the compositions that you run. A Kha'Zix and a Vi, they are reliant on their abilities, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Vi in particular, as long as you play her quite patiently, you can manage the mana, but it does look like Samuks is going to get caught out here.
Mouvert comes around the side there. Samuks is going to try and go into that shroud, but it's never going to be enough. He's going to have to dash away. He's going to try and run around the turret there. Flashes through. Is it going to be enough? They're going to pursue. Shushay also closing the ground here. They are pinning him down every opposition. He's going to try and get in a corner and back away. See if he can get out of this one. Is it going to be the 10-second time? Is it? I don't think 10 seconds has passed here. I think his timing's off.
I think he's okay.
No.
Yep, he got it. He got it.
Very well done there from Samuks.
Intelligent play. It did burn the flash, so it's the effect of, again coming in there and burning his flash, but it also puts him behind on CS. He loses some of that gold and that experience and just helps Kha'Zix get an even firmer grip on that lane. Already got a 25 CS lead at 9 minutes into the game. If he can continue to grow that, it's going to be looking very good for Spontex's car.
Yeah, 75 CS is a big, big difference. Is he going to go for the Black Cleaver first? How do you build Kha'Zix these days in 3.02?
Absolutely no idea at the moment, because 3.02, it's the first weekend that we've seen, for the professional teams. Last weekend we were on 3.01, and Car, he was everywhere for a while, and then he just sort of disappeared. Just a couple of numbers being tweaked and reworked, and he wasn't super, super popular. That Ruby Crystal is in the back pocket for Spontex, and I want to see how he decides to build it. When we seen Darian building Kha'Zix 2 weeks ago, he built Trinity Force.
He went really tanky
and
as well.
Tanky and Trinity Force, and it was a very interesting build, and I wonder if Spontex is going to do something similar.
Well, we see Hosan going aggressive on towards Jim Bones, though we do have Maluna coming round, so he's trying to bait him in, but Morden is already in position. We could, of course, get the teleport. No, we can't, but we could get a teleport from Extermin. Shushay's teleport itself is down. We do see a teleport possibly coming out here. There's going to be immediate crescendo comes through, and they do try to back them away. Maluna forces them out, and everybody goes defensive and backs off.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates used. Exhaust was thrown out there as well, so a lot of spells and summoners blown, but no kills. Good play from Giants. It was reactionary play. They got caught out, but they backed away. Luckily, Morden was there at the right place at the right time, and it was enough of a show of force that giant bear could scare the Dragonborns away.
Yeah, it would scare me as well, honestly. I see a big bear in armor. I mean, it's in a bear in armor. What else do you want?
I also stand to be correct, but I believe it's the first time that we've seen this particular skin as the Dragonborns start that team kill on their own dragon, and we'll see if they can pick this up uncontested.
The team kill continues, but Morden is having a look. See, he's going to try and get in there, but immediately gets dazzled out. That's going to be the blue team of Dragonborns picking up the dragon. Move Air flashes out there, but Jim Bones is coming around the side. Jim McStermott tries to go towards Hosan. They can't manage to land the damage on any particular target. Hosan is the one they're going for. They can't get it. Great evacuation from Dragonborns.
Well played by Dragonborns, not sticking around longer than they needed to. It's something that we've seen from these teams, and the top lane Spontex has gone low.
This is what we talked about earlier, the damage burst between the two. Either team, really, Samux or Kha'Zix of Spontex, both able to just output so much burst damage. It's a case of who lands it first, who opens up.
Yeah, whoever manages to land those first opening abilities and then deal some damage. Shushay not coming off the very well there after picking up some CS. But what I was trying to say was that these teams, the newer teams that we're watching at the moment, they sometimes stay around a little too long. They try push for a turret and they overstay their welcome and it costs them deaths. They're the Dragonborns. They got the dragon, and they immediately started to back away. They almost got Morden down, but as soon as his passive kicked in and he flashed to safety, they went, no, let's not chase him. He's going to regen a lot. The rest of his team is coming in, and they took their objective, and they got away safely. But interestingly, Kha'Zix with the boots of mobility. So we're moving into this mid-game stage. A tower is down. You can see Giants pushing, and it looks like Babetta's been caught.
Oh, Shushay trying to go aggressive there. He does manage to get on towards Babetta, but Babetta's not really the target. It's the new opposition that put the damage out. Extermin with no mana left, though. He's got just enough for a combo on towards Shushay, but it's not going to finish him off. Kha'Zix immediately was heading down south. Spontex, of course, with those boots of mobility. Immediate pings come down. The rest of the team well aware of it. Is he going to dive? I don't think he will. He has managed to... He hasn't evolved. He evolved the wings first. He hasn't gone for the rockets. Interesting.
Evolved the wings first. He wants the resets. With the boots of mobility, it immediately tells you that he wants to play a gank-heavy card now. Now they want to start stomping control in a particular lane. Shushay went very aggressive there, was relying on his intervention to save him, and the top laners are bashing head-to-head.
This is the battle of the burst, and Spontex doesn't want to be around once that Twilight Shroud gets dropped. He could just come straight back in, but immediately using that damage he has, he should manage to take him down here. Samux taking very low. He's going to be back and forth. Spontex, Samux picks up the kill and turns it around. That's the burst damage we were talking about.
The amount of minions there as well, that entire creep wave was bashing on Spontex's head. While the numbers aren't necessarily the greatest, when numbers get that small and everyone's 50-60 life away, 50-60 damage from a minion is going to be the difference between life and death. And you can see the amount of lifesteal spell vamp from that Hextech Revolver and the passives of Akali really bringing her into life.
So Samux getting the better of the top lane eventually and pulling the CS back as well, of course. Twilight Shroud pops straight away, doesn't want any of Maluna there. As Maluna comes in, he may be able to have the damage and forces the flash out of Samux. Nicely done.
Good play from Samux, being safe, using the flash to get away to safety and making sure that she doesn't give away any kills. And with Spontex's Kha'Zix going back, he's picked up a longsword. So the longsword and the Ruby Crystal makes me think it's going to become a phage next. And as I said, we actually seen a Trinity Force on Kha'Zix out of Darien from Gambit Gaming, so we might be seeing something similar. In terms of the rest of the items, there's nothing overly exciting along the rest of these lanes, except Exeter's Rise has still not completed his Rod of Ages, which I'm sure is not going to be very, not going to make you very happy.
It will be coming. You can see the catalyst is there, so it's coming. We know it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. We do see, of course, the big Giant's belt on Morden. He is building himself up to be a tank. He goes in towards Maluna, tries to put some damage down. Will Extermin come in? Yes, he will do. Shushay's going to close in the gap, though, immediately. He tries to use his ultimate. Extermin does get knocked up there by Shushay. Assault and Battery. Will it be enough, though? But Shushay's in all sorts of trouble. Intervention is not going to be enough to save Shushay, and it's Extermin that picks up the kill.
Giants so well coordinated there. They had two members. It was a 2 versus 2 before that bottom lane was there, and you got to think to yourself, the timing, how well prepared was that from Giants to know they wanted to push this lane. They get the tower. That gives them a 2 tower to 1 advantage, and it doesn't look like they're going to stop the pressure right now.
And you can see Giants are going to continue through, like you mentioned. They're going to go in towards this inner turret. Rest of the team has to react to this one. They have a good creep wave. The siege minion is there, so they should have long enough to take this turret down. You can see Maluna getting caught in there. Crescendo! Oh, Babetta drops him where he stands, and now they tank out that turret. It's another pickup and another, wow, 5-2, 3-0. Giants are strong.
And now they've taken control of the entire map. They got first blood, they got 2 kills in their bottom lane and helped them, take some authority in that lane, and now they're starting to convert that into map objectives. They're grouping up as 4 members, pushing towers, pushing lanes, and using the crescendo just to pick up a kill on Maluno. They knew he didn't have flash. They knew he didn't have intervention, and it was smart, it was intelligent play from the Giants, but it does look like Samux is going to be the target of focus for Spontex.
He jumps straight in on towards Samux, but he's not going to continue following that one. He has picked up the Hex Drinker now, so they are going to continue on towards this middle lane. Giants kind of left this a little bit open. The ultimate running from Move-Air, though. Morden may actually get baited into this one. He does flip around, but it's going to be the damage to True Shot Barrage. Not enough to finish him off. He's taken very low. Samux comes in as well. Spontex followed him down the river. That's exactly what you've got to do. But Giants hold on to that middle turret.
They do defend it. Morden goes in 1 versus 3, is not afraid of anything. Manages to not only get away with his life, but he even baited out the exhaust and took, manages to survive just with the use of his passive. Shushay cannot trade evenly with Exta's Rise. That was 2 or 3 spells that just bounced across him, dropped his HP by 50%, and if he gets caught again by Exta, he's going to go down.
He's got no magic resist right now. No. He's just building pure damage. He is building a full-on glass cannon. The question is, will it be enough? There's a teleport on towards that top lane. Just having a look there. It is going to be Shushay going up there. Samux is maybe going to get caught out. Will he get baited by Spontex here? Spontex trying to bait him out there, but Samux did not want a piece of it. You know what? I think Shushay may have got spotted there. The Twilight Shroud was down. Will it show the vision? No, he's not. Instead, he's going to jump around, and now he's going to get dropped. Very nicely played, Shushay. Had to use the teleport to get that kill, but paid off. They should get the turret as well.
Well worth it. Giants, however, going to respond with the Dragon in this bottom lane. Trading a Dragon for a tower is not always the best, but it's the best of this situation. If Exta can get a Rune Prison down onto Maluno's Kale, he's going to be in trouble, but intervention is available. Is he going to use it?
He's going to have to dive him on the turret. It's going to be the intervention goes down, and he's trying to bait them out. True Shot Barrage comes across. Ace in the hole! Finishes him off. Jim Bones picks up the kill.
Exta doing so well, positioning himself in, so close to Maluno that spell flux managed to bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you see how quickly Maluno's HP dropped. It got him low enough that Ace in the hole could land that final tick of damage and secure the kill. Giants 6-3 up, 3 towers to 1. I think they even out the Dragons. I think that's 1-1 now in terms of Drakes. But they've only got a 2,000 gold lead. It feels bigger than what it actually is on paper.
They're diving on towards Morden here. Morden's going to get caught out. One more hit should be enough. It will be Shushay that picks it up, taking him 4-1-0. Nice closing. This time Morden can't tank it out. The damage is getting bigger for Dragonborns.
Yeah, Flash Excessive Force just pummeling him in the face, even with the passive ticking, and what's not going to be enough to survive against those 2 players. Right now, Dragonborns are making plays happen, particularly with that Assault and Battery from Shushay. The cooldown is not the longest. At max, it's about 95 seconds, give or take, at rank 2. It's going to go even lower once he gets to rank 3. And a minute and a half between the amount of damage that puts onto a champion, as well as the fact it locks them down. It allows Kaz, Zix, or Ezreal to just unload and just continue focusing them. As long as Dragonborns can keep doing that, they're not out of this game.
They're going to go aggressive on Jim Bones here. Moveair's going to dazzle straight in. He's going to tank the turret. It's not going to have enough. True Shot Barrage whips through, and Jim Bones taking half health.
Barrier was blown as well as the Flash, and that True Shot actually munched the barrier as well. I mean, it got through that, and it took some HP off, so it's hitting very, very hard. Hosan's Bloodthirster, 26 stacks, nearing max, and if it hits just a single target, that True Shot Barrage, around 600 odd damage.
It's a 3v2 at the bottom right now. Extermin was heading down there. Shushay sticking around in the mid lane, may find him. Instead, they do back off. Are they going to try and bait it? I don't think Giants are going to fall for this one, honestly. They may well come and take a little peek towards it, but expect them to lead with those traps. And you can see that they are slowly but surely, delicately doing this one. Dragonborns playing very patiently here. Is it going to be enough? Have they got the flash? It's going to be Shushay diving in. Assault battery out towards Jim Bones. The crescendo, though, is enough. Jim Bones taking a heck of a lot of damage, and it's Hosan that picks up a kill. They dive on towards Babetta. One more hit. Shushay gets another. It's 5-1 for Shushay.
With that fade, you managed to get the movement slow, followed it up with a Vault Breaker, and just the denting blows damage coming out of Shushay is so high right now. 8.6% of a target's maximum health on that 3rd hit. It is a huge chunk of damage. Spontex is now met up with the rest of the Dragonborns, and they're going to try force down this inner turret.
They're pushing on. Samux, meanwhile, in that top lane, he's going to try and drive forward and try and get some advantage he can. He's going to have to back off instead. The talk call has come out from the team. They do not want to lose this inner turret, but the damage onto it is pretty strong right now. Morden doing what he can to clear out the wave.
We talked about this, earlier in the day, how this game is a battle between these 2 teams. Dragonborns having already beaten SK Gaming, Giants having already defeated Gambit Gaming, rather. And it's going to be a matchup to see how they do.
That's going to follow him all the way to the base.
All the way to the base. In the top lane, though, Maluna's got aggressive.
Maluna has got aggressive, but Samix is going to surely get caught out. He does manage to get Maluna down. Now Spontex just has to fire those rockets off. Oh, he puts the big ward down. So screw you. I'm going to kill you anyway.
Gets vision onto Samix's Akali, secures the kill, but making the best of a bad situation. We didn't see the opening to that engagement, whether or not Samix dove onto Maluna or vice versa. But nevertheless, they trade one for one.
Movehead's going to walk straight in. Oh, Hasten, the hole comes out, but he's not going to get aggressive. I expected Extermin to go a little more deeper there, but I don't think they had the vision.
Didn't have the vision, didn't have the knowledge, and wanted to play it safe. And it's glad that he did fall back, because you see how close Spontex was. If they did carry on chasing, he would have just been, collapsed upon and potentially gone down.
Well,
but Rod of Age is completed.
Rod of Age is completed, of course. What else would he build? Many, many more Rod of Ages to follow, possibly. We do see that tier may well be maxed out. There's a lot of big items. In fact, take us through the items, because there's a lot of items starting to get completed. A lot of the major items coming out. Of course, there's the Warmogs on the bear. What else would he wear?
Okay, so let's take a look. First of all, I want to touch on Spontex's Kha'Zix, because we brought it up a couple of times, and he's had that Ruby Crystal since very, very early on in this matchup, but he hasn't upgraded it into anything, and he's been trolling me the whole time, because he's had the Ruby Crystal plus a long sword. The long sword then became the Hex Drinker. He picked up another long sword, and I thought, okay, now it's going to become a Phage. Then he upgraded that into a Brutalizer. So Spontex is going sort of a traditional damage route, but with a bit of tankiness and, of course, boots of mobility. Nothing too exciting coming out of Tail right now.
Cleaver, of course,
Stinger
next.
collected. Pickaxe. I want to know whether Pickaxe gets upgraded to, because Dragonborns might go somewhere different. But of course, Vi, Shushay in the middle lane, Phage and Brutalizer, getting a damage reduction as a teleport comes into Samux, but he's invisible.
It's Shushay going in there. It's only going to be long enough. He hasn't got the teleport. He does manage to close the gap, but he's not sure where the rest of the team is. Spontex instead will go aggressive. He comes around. Oh, and Hosan closes the gap. Samux is in all sorts of trouble. He's not going to have the Twilight Shroud available. Spontex picks it up. Tried to get a kill secure from Hosan there.
Kill secure from Hosan just in case any abilities were used, but with that red buff on his Mystic Shot, it applied the movement slow. That was all that it really needed to keep Akali in place. And the cooldown on that Shroud is so high. It's about 20 odd seconds if I recall. So there was nothing she could do to get away from that gank at all. In terms of the rest of the lanes, Bloodthirster, almost Infinity Edge coming out for Hosan's Ezreal. Infinity Edge, Zeal almost becoming Phantom Dancer for Jim Bones' Caitlyn.
Well, the aggression of Dragonborns seems to be turning the game slightly in their favor. They are still behind in gold. They are ahead in kills, though, and down in turrets. Dragon is up in 10 seconds' time. Spontex is well away on the map, so it's looking like Giants are in perfect position to try and take this one.
Exactly predicted. The Black Cleaver has been completed for Kha'Zix.
Boots of mobility. He's motoring.
Yeah, trying to get in for the fight, trying to pick the battle, but you can see Giants Exeter has recalled, so if they do pick this fight in the next few minutes, that teleport is going to be crucial. At the moment, Shushay does not have it available, and Dragonborns do the intelligent thing and actually take the tower. It's more valuable than a
great tactical player as well. They've completely separated the team. They're going to catch on. They've collapsed on towards Jim Bones. Crescendo comes out, but it's never going to be enough. Teleport coming in. Got to cancel that teleport. My word. Dangerous times there for Extermin. He's like, you can see, he's like, ah!
Do not want.
It's going to be the Dragon picked up, though, by Dragonborns. Very well positioned, that fight.
And this is going to be Dragon number 3 of the game. Dragonborns picked up the first one and now the third one. And I want to see how they decide to play this one out. You can see Vi is recalling without Assault and Battery. They're going to be relying on that Dazzle and the rockets coming out of Kha'Zix to apply the slow. But Giants very wisely decide to back off, move into the jungle, and stop pushing that lane. Interestingly, in terms of the CS, in the mid lane, Exeter has got a small advantage over Shushay's Vi, but there's been a number of ganks coming out of Vi. And in the top lane, a 40 CS difference between Kha'Zix and Akali.
Yeah, that is a big gold differential. You can see it's a 1,200 gold gap between that top lane. The mid lane, it's around about a 800 gold gap. The bottom lane, actually very even between the two, just 50 between the two. So very close stuff. But honestly, it's the junglers as well, 400 gold gap. So across the board, Dragonborns definitely with that gold advantage. Of course, they did just take down that turret and the dragon, which gave them that shift in gold. As it is, they have a 1,500 gold lead overall. Levels-wise, well, it is pretty close. You don't see any big gaps really across the board in any of the lanes. Any level advantages, slight advantage from Dragonborns, just about half a level ahead. Nothing major.
The matchup is very even right now, but the last few engagements have gone in favor of the Dragonborns.
Barrage, not going to be enough.
So close though. But if the Dragonborns continue to pick kills,
bottom lane.
or is he going to go over the wall? Flash is not available. Vault Breaker's going to go through, though.
He's going to dash through. He does catch on towards Jimbones. Has he got enough damage? He is going to get jumped in the air. Can it be enough that we have HOSONE closing the gap? The rest of the team coming around the side there. Extermin is there. Immediately gets spotted by that blue ward, and they do back away.
Really, really well played. That's a level 13 Vi moving closer and closer towards that rank 3 Assault and Battery. A minute and a half cooldown on the ultimate, and getting the barrier and the flash there out of Jimbones. Fair trade any day of the week.
So we see the top lane has been shoved in, and where's Spontex going? He's going to collapse around the backside of Morden here on towards that turret. Meanwhile, in this bottom lane, Extermin trying to catch on towards HOSONE, but it's Morden's getting poked there. And Spontex has to be careful because Samox will close in around him. Morden looking like he's wanting to get aggressive on him. Instead, everybody backs away.
And something that Dragonborns were doing there that was very intelligent, they were pushing the middle and the bottom lane. They knew that they'd force Jimbones back. He had to recall to heal up and, get back to full health before he could pick another fight. So they said, well, it's going to be, 2v2 or 4v2, whatever the story is. And they just split push themselves, shoving the laves down. Every single lane was pushing in their favor. Unfortunately, they didn't commit to taking a tower, but if they continue doing that in these next 5, 10, 15 minutes, that's how you take map control and how you take control of the game.
Well, they're going to have a very difficult job of shoving this lane because the wave clearing from Spontex and co is pretty huge right now. Once he's got that black cleaver on there, those rockets will clear it out. He does get caught out, but he can just leap away there as soon as Morden wanted to get flippity-floppy on him. It was not to be.
No, unfortunately, there's some distance put between them, and in actual fact, Morden tossed a creep. The last little bit of damage threw a minion back, and it wasn't really going to be enough. You need to catch those champions, and unfortunately, the gap closer wasn't there. But HOSONE taking a bit of poke from the range of Caitlyn.
Yeah, Jimbones putting some damage down. We do have Spontex backing off. They're continuing to try and keep the pressure on here. Ace and a whole used out there to try and burn everything out, anything they can push towards them, but it's not working. You can see they're not making any ground here. They're just getting battered back every single wave, and Spontex keeping those void spikes out.
The scary thing here is that the initiation combo that can come down from Dragonborns is a little easier to land, and they've got that safety net of the intervention. So if they decide to go in, they're going to have those few seconds of confusion of, do we focus this person and we know they're going to get shielded, or do we focus somebody else? And if the Giants don't respond accordingly by landing a very good crescendo from Babetta, or splitting up and making sure they don't get shut down, they could be in trouble.
It's Shusha that gets caught out. There's the intervention going in. Jimbones was the target, but instead they go assault and battery out towards Extermin. They're on 3 different targets right now. Spontex takes down the AD carrier on the back, and he's actually doing a 2v1. Extermin's managed to take down Shusha. He's very low. He's had to back away. It's a very split fight across the board. They're continuing to chase on. HOSONE was untouched. Extermin does escape from the fight, but it was a 2-for-1 actually for Giants, but it's Dragonborns with the advantage.
Dragonborns, they got jumped on initially. Shusha got caught up by Extermin's rise and didn't manage to go down thanks to that intervention, but as soon as the fight started to split up, Exter's chasing in there, immediately gets slowed by the red buff, I think that was actually. And as soon as they split up, they did get some kills, but Dragonborns got the tower, and I think they'll be happy with that.
Yeah, Extermin trying to use his home guard boots there, but as soon as he got shot, obviously it stops the home guard in its tracks, and they are actually coming around the side here. May well get caught out. They're trying to close down on towards HOSONE, but HOSONE is surely too clever to fall for this one. Instead, he's just going to go farm out of that top. So it was, despite the fact, a very close fight, an advantage game for Dragonborns. They are now 4-for-4 in turrets, very much even across the board, 10-9 in kills, and just 2,000 gold between the two teams.
And I definitely want to see what Shusha is going to pick up next. He's sitting on that Brutalizer as well as the Avarice Blade, so I wonder if he's going to be going towards something like the Ghost Blade. He's a little bit overextended, and if the Giants push all the way down, who are they going to catch and fling backwards?
They might go for Move Air. Move Air does get flinged in there. He's going to try and pop his ultimate. Is it going to be enough? He's going to get caught out. Ace in a hole. Phil finish him off. No! Intervention from Maluno was perfectly placed there, and he escapes with his life.
Escapes. He was about 40 HP.
Extermin gets removed by Spontex. Just jumped on him. The burst damage is so strong, and wow, they turned that around so well.
They managed to pick up the kill, and exactly, take a look at this. Shusha's vibe.
HOSONE, they're going aggressive. They're jumping on towards Morden. He goes leaping through. Can they continue chasing there? Shusha has got his own battery. He gets on towards Morden, slams him down, puts him in the air. Spontex stands on the trap. It's not going to be enough. HOSONE will finish him off. One more shot. Shusha picks up the kill. Spontex coming in. His jump will reset. He leaps through, but a beautiful net shot from Jimbones there. They're going to collapse on towards Babetta. Using that ultimate, it's going to close the gap. Babetta gets dropped as well. Wow, bad back and forth action, but it's 3 kills for Dragonborns.
And so close. That crescendo was not available for a few seconds at the end of that engagement. Couldn't stun them up to save them. Dragonborns, once again, they get jumped on, but they turn the situation around. They pick the kills up, they shove the lanes down, and they carry on just chasing. The hard initiation that they have with the, Vi, with Kha'Zix, with Kayle, the intervention, it's such a scary combo, and they're playing it to perfection right now.
8-2-1 currently, Xuxe on Vi. Is it viable for a ban? That's the question. It wasn't an initiated pun. I didn't mean to go that route, but, it just happened.
No, that's an awesome one. Is it viable for a ban?
Well, it's available.
I like it. Take a look at the items here for Dragonborns. We keep talking that this initiation, the aggression. Berserker's Greaves on 3 of the carries, jungler, mid, and AD carry. You've got Shirelia's Reverie in Tarek's back pocket. You've got Boots of Mobility for Kha'Zix. Everything just signals dive, go. And when we were talking to Hosan yesterday, it's what he said. Xuxe likes initiation champions. He likes to go in. He likes to catch people out. And right now, Dragonborns are doing very well with their combo.
But still, no inhibitors down, no inhibitor turrets down. So
And
very even between the two teams in terms of everything, really.
The longer this game goes, the tankier that Volibear and Ryze is going to become, the harder it's going to be to just blow them up. Kha'Zix, Vi, and Kayle, the damage eventually will start to, peter out and become balanced, so to speak. And if Akali finishes up the likes of a Warmogs and gets some more defensive stats, maybe going, getting that Zhonya's Hourglass, she's going to become tanky and difficult to kill as well. At that point, Giants need to start pulling this game back, because if they don't, they're just going to go, too far behind.
Well, the Frozen Heart's going to be out in a moment for Extermin. And of course, like you mentioned, that the stronger they get, but Dragonborns have the ability, in the fact that they have Maluno and Kayle, who can put a lot of damage out despite having that intervention as well. Spontek's going to leap on someone. Jimbone's life is in danger every single fight, because there's a lot that's going to jump towards him.
Yeah, it's difficult to see how they're going to stop it. The protect the Caitlyn is not really there. Jimbones is going to be pretty much left on this little island where he needs to fend for himself while Ryze, Akali, and Volibear try to get to the back line of Dragonborns. And we're going to see which dive combination is stronger. Dragonborns have stacked up on this top lane, and they want the inner turret.
Well, we see Spontek's poking around the side. He's trying to put the damage across. True Shot Barrage does rattle through. Maluna's focus targeted, and Samuk's immediately taking the damage. Xuxe went diving in for that one. They flip it. Intervention was used. Dives on, assault the battery. I'm not too sure this is a fight Dragonborns want, though. They're taking a lot of damage on that turret there, and now Giants are going to try and pursue it. We have the damage. Oh, the rockets from the... So strong from Spontex. One more, it's Hosan that gets caught out. Hosan goes down. Can they pursue it? Samuk turns around. Oh, Samuk dropped in. They're all in the bush. They're going to dive in. They're going flippity-floppity on everyone. They're diving back and forward. Muldin's taken very low. His Xuxe's going to go aggressive, but he can't take them down. One by one, they keep attacking and keep on failing. The Giants pick it up 3 for 1.
That was a team fight that the Giants really needed. And as soon as the Dragonborns grouped up, they snuck together as 5. Exter simply tore them apart. He put his ultimate on, gave himself that AoE damage, and the spell flux bounced between everybody, shredding their HP bars. How quickly they went from 75% to about 40%. On the retreat, Xuxe charged up his Vault Breaker, and instead of using it to try to put some distance between them, he dove back in.
Well,
he wanted more.
Balls of steel for that man. He is at 9-3-1. Spontex might claps down on Jimbones. He caught him. Does he realize he? Yes, he does. He goes diving in, and that's going to be the AD carry going down. He's not going to be able to escape from this one. Teleport comes in from Extermin. He nails to run around. He's going to get slowed down. He's going to get leaped on. He might be able to turn around. Oh, intervention used from Maluna there. They're going to continue through, but Morden's coming back. True Shot Barrage rattles through. Maluna's taken very low. He's already used the intervention. He goes down, and now it's going to be Xuxe going aggressive. They're diving from every angle on towards Extermin. They finally take him down. It's Xuxe with another kill. And now Samuk chases. Oh, he can't quite catch on towards Spontex, but he's going to take Xuxe anyway. That's a better kill in the end. And that is another turnaround. 16-14. Crazy game.
Absolutely crazy. Xuxe teleporting all the way to the back. You can see a number of those Dragonborns wards. They'd set it up for Baron to see that maybe they were trying to set it up, make sure that the Giants couldn't take it. Everybody jumping in there. They end up trading 2 for 2, so it's relatively even in that regard. But you have to question the play. You have to question Jimbones being caught. Why didn't he run to safety? Why didn't he fall back? The teleport's in. Exter, as soon as he landed that teleport, went, oh, I should not be here. He got caught out, and then a similar situation from Xuxe.
Well, as it stands, it is still the Dragonborns with the advantage, but Honestly, I wouldn't call it a clear advantage right now because they are really just wildly attacking, I think it's safe to say. There's no...
This is where things start to get interesting now. 2 Warmogs have just been completed for both Kha'Zix and for Akali, so their survivability, their tankability has just gone up. Volibear is getting close to the point that he can finish his Randuin's Omen. When that goes down, it's going to be so powerful against all 4 of the carries from the Dragonborns. And, you know, they're going to give them a lot of kite ability, a lot of damage reduction and mitigation. And it looks as though a Ruby Crystal in Extra's back pocket. Are we going to see another Rod of Ages?
Well, Jim Bones needs to be careful there. He's shown himself down that bottom lane. Dragonborns could have easily gone for that Dragon. The Baron, sorry. As it is, Ward's going down. Giants are spotted on there. Spontex going to try and bait out, clear out that ward. And yeah, Giants says, no, we're not falling for this one. We're pretty sure there's a ward in this bush. And the question is, will Dragonborns start out that Baron? Will they go aggressive on it? We do have the Giants moving in, so they're going to check it out. As it is, it's taken down very low already, and this is a very quick Baron. They've got it. They've turned it around, and immediately Hosan puts the damage down. Giants have to evacuate.
That just puts a 4-minute pause button there for the Giants. You know, the power spike that Baron Nashor buff gives you is so powerful. The regen and the siege capabilities, and they've got a very good siege team. They've got fairly good long-range poke. They've got splash damage. They have the ability to clear waves, and I think it will be up to the Dragonborns now to really take control of this map, maybe push down these last inner turrets and try get onto an inhibitor turret. That needs to be their objective while they have this buff out.
Well, they tried to fight on the inner turret up the top last time around. This time, they are going to go back and buy. They're playing it a little bit more sensible here, regroup themselves after that chaotic period that Giants seem to excel in. It's what they did against Gambit. It's how they turned the game around, it's how they managed to win it. And Dragonborns, well, they kind of do pretty well in that situation as well, but as it stands, now is not the time. They need to go very defensive, group up and attack. Bulwark being picked up there by Maluna. I like it. It's a nice item. They have Samux and Extermin on that team, so why not get that one? Definitely the jungler item should be picked up there rather than the supporter field, but we do see the Twin Shadows from Movet.
Yeah, it's just aggression. He's going to throw out those Twin Shadows, allow himself to, you know, slow down some enemies, and then speed up his teammates for the dive, for the chasing, etc. You do see that Babetta's got the Aegis of the Legion in his back pocket, so also working towards picking up that Runic Bulwark, and I think they're going to need it from the amount of splash. True Shot Barrage does get thrown backwards just to help shove that top lane back in favor of the Dragonborns, but the siege is now on. How are the Dragonborns going to play this out?
Well, of course, with those voice boys, they are clearing those waves very quickly, and Hosan just needs to get a couple of shots on that, but he's so cautious because he realizes that Extermin could flash engage at any moment. He's very tanky himself at the moment. Extermin has got that Frozen Heart and that Rod of Ages on there, and as it stands, Dragonborns with the standoff, will they go for it? Will somebody take the bull by the horns and maybe take a couple of those tower hits? Movet, I would have thought, is probably the most tankiest of the team. It's Spontex that gets caught out. They dive on. They've got multiple targets, but Spontex can just leap straight out of there. Samux going aggressive on towards Hosan. Ultimate use there. Didn't close him down enough, though. And that is going to run off.
Going to wait for the charges to come back up. Dragonborn should be able to regenerate this relatively quickly, but they got a big creep wave on this bottom lane, so immediately start to rotate and back away. Try to push down this inner turret. I don't think the Giants are going to be able to get there in time, so this is going to be a turret for free, effectively, and this is the power that the Nashor buff gives you. Regen that damage that you've taken without needing to go back to the fountain. Push a lane where the creeps are you know, in your favor, but in the top lane, it is all about the Giants. A massive creep wave shoving down their inner turret. Another True Shot Barrage rattles across to try and you know, reduce the numbers.
Well, a very defensive, passive approach from Dragonborns. They did get the one turret, but again, they're all backing off here. They're just spending the money. The Baron buff doesn't last that long. It's got around about a minute left in it, so I don't think they're going to get another push onto one of these turrets.
I don't think so either. You can see they're in the gold at the moment. You know, quite a story. 4,000 difference between Kha'Zix and Akali. Mid lane is about 2,000. Our AD carries are about bang on even, and about 2,000 actually in the jungle as well, so it's quite a noticeable difference. But if you have a look back at the items, you'll see the tank ability, the survivability that's in there. Warmog's completed now for Shusha's Vi. He's even stronger and scarier. Guardian Angel picked up for Jim Bones, so now it's 5 versus 5.5 or 6 if you prefer, because they need to get Jim Bones and then get him again. And this is what we were saying earlier. They don't have the biggest protect the Caitlyn composition, but if you know she's going to go down, allow her to respawn, and you've got that period of I use this word very loosely, safety while you're dead and respawning because the rest of the team can focus targets.
Well, we haven't seen a great deal of Guardian Angels, but it makes sense on Jimbones because we talked about how he is effectively the target. Samox, of course, he's going to get focused pretty heavily, but Jimbones is the one that everybody's going to be leaping towards, so good use. The question is, will his team be alive long enough when he does pop up? And that is really the trade-off you have there. Spontex in this top lane, the top inner turret, seemingly the next focus target for the Dragonborns. They are 5-4 up in turrets. They have that gold advantage. It's around about 8,000 gold now, and they will pick up this turret. It's not worth defending by Giants there. It was already at a third health. And that will just stretch that golden experience lead a little bit more.
Yeah, without having Extermin there, you know, they couldn't pick that fight. They need the amount of damage he has. They need his crowd control. They need their full combo to fight, which is something that the Dragonborns don't actually need. They can pick skirmishes and win. In the 2v2s and the 3v3s, they have a slightly stronger team in that regard because the amount of synergy between each of the different matchups is a little bit stronger. Giants have grouped up as 4 or 5, and they're going to push this middle lane down. They're about 8k gold behind, but they won't feel like they're that far behind. And if they can pick the right engagement, they can probably win the fight, especially when Shushe's not there.
Yeah, they're feeling they can go for this one. They're going to ward out the jungle. They may catch out Hosan. They just got a glimpse of him forcing into Arcane Shift there, and immediately Twin Shadows came out. They're going to poke in towards Mordant, slow him down, but they are collapsing in towards Spontex down this bottom lane. He's managed to back away, and now Giants feel they can take a turret of their own.
Spontex is max level. He's maxed out his ultimate over his Taste of Fear, so going to have that extra stealth and movement speed, you know, just to get the chasing once again, the commitment in there. But deciding to evolve that over his Q, just interesting to point out. And the standoff is now here. The Dragonborns are going to see, are they going to get NC? Are they going to defend the tower and all in commit? Or, you know, what are the Giants going to do?
Oh, and Spontex gets caught out there in the bush. Intervention had to get used. Beautiful crescendo, but the rest of the team didn't react to it quick enough. Who is going to be the lower target? The moment Shushe went very aggressive, he gets popped. We see Samak going down as well. It's a 1-for-1, but Morden's going to get dropped down there. It's another 1-for-1 trade here. Mover taken down very low, but Better walks away. Hosan's going to get dropped down here. It's going to be the Giants that turn it around. They pick up another one. There is no intervention, and well, it's a triple kill for Caitlyn. Picked up Jimbones. They're going to get the turret. They could push on towards the inhibitor.
4-for-2. Jimbones' Guardian Angel was not even popped in that engagement. They focused effectively the second and third most tanky targets on the list there. Akali and Volibear, yeah, you got them down, but Jimbones was completely untouched. The only damage that he's taken in this engagement has come from the tower, effectively. They might even be able to get the inhibitor. If Maluna stays too long, he's going to get rune prisoned up and shut down.
Well, he has his intervention back available, but it's going to be the first inhibitor of the game, and it's the Giants that pick it up, despite the fact they were 8,000 gold behind before that fight even began. They're 6,000 gold now, and they are turn and burning as they managed to run away. 19 seconds for the next Baron. That's where the next fight will happen, but it was all about Jimbones landing the perfect team focus there.
And, you know, so many things happened in that fight that were really, really crucial. But Better got a 4-man crescendo. He stunned up the entire Dragonborns team. Samox dove in, and Samox picked the fight with everybody. A pink ward was in that little bush. You could see it there, and it allowed the Dragonborns to pick up the kill onto Samox. He was the very first target of that entire fight. But what it meant is it allowed the rest of the Giants to go, okay, Shushe is our target. They focused him down. Then they had turned their attention to Spontex. Focus him down, turn their attention to Hosan, and just systematically picked off each of the carries. Can the Dragonborns take Baron again, though, because they have a bit of time?
Can they do it quick enough? Teleport coming in from Extermin here. He's going to get in time. Morden is close enough. The Baron down to a half health, and immediately everybody around here. Well, at the moment, Jimbones is a long, long way off, and that's why the Dragonborns have just pinged it. They've realized it, that he's not here. They're going to go back in. They've managed to reinitiate, but they've got to get out. They have not done enough damage. They are going to back off, and we are going to have a standoff here at the Baron. Nobody's really got the full ward placements, so nobody has full happy vision, and that's why Dragonborns, you can see, are backing out here. And well, is that going to give Giants time to actually initiate for this one?
I think they're just going to now bide their time, because if they decided to go on Nasha, they don't really have much vision. They don't really know where the Dragonborns are. They could take it down very, very quickly. Another Warmogs gets picked up, this time for Extermin's Rise. He's even tanky. He's got even more survivability, and you can see, if you give them enough time and they're able to protect Jimbones, they can pick up the kill. Dragonborns aren't really in a position to defend this, and I think the Giants should be able to get this one.
Well, we have a teleport from Shushe available. There is a ward straight there on the buff, and they picked it up. The Baron managed to get taken down so quickly. Spontex has to jump away, but they caught Dragonborns napping there.
Yeah, completely, caught by surprise. They didn't expect it to go down as quickly as it did. And the Giants now, with the Baron buff, you can see a huge creep wave on their bottom lane. There's going to be so many super creeps in there. Dragonborns are going to have to send somebody to pick up the farm. And it actually looks like Giants just want to take the dragon instead of pushing down more towers.
Yeah, they do have a gold differential still of around about 4,000 gold, but that is closing ever so shorter. And there it is, Jimbone's picking that one up, and now it's just 3k between them. They're not going to feel that, though, because it's 18-18, 6-6 in turrets. They've just won the last team fight on the tower. They're going to feel much stronger right now.
And then just in terms of some items there, you can actually see the Zhonya's Hourglass has been completed for Samek. So the next time he goes aggressive like that and pulls the aggro of 3 or 4 Dragonborns members, he's just going to, throw himself, become untargetable, completely prevent himself from taking more damage. Lost Whisper has been picked up for Jims as if he wasn't dealing enough damage. He's now just going to get through all of that extra armor that's sitting in the Dragonborn's back pocket. And 2 more Chain Vests have been picked up for both of Samox and Morden. So I want to see what they decide to upgrade them into, how they decide to progress those. It might even be more Guardian Angels. And if it is, you have to feel that their team fight presence is stronger.
Well, has Shushe's damage been mitigated now? Is he going to be doing enough? He's going to be diving in. But simply put, Giants are ready for it, and they're going to turn around and absolutely spank him if he gets close enough. As it is, you see the traps being put down. Mouvez happily accepting the cookies. He has got, of course, that armor to help him out. So if he does get caught out, he would be the one, the front-loaded damage. And Dragonborns, they're all about going aggressive, but as it is, they're having to be defensive here. And slowly but surely, Giants are getting closer with that Baron buff.
If the Giants do overstep their welcome or go a little too far, Dragonborns have the ability to jump on somebody and pick up a kill. The problem is, if it takes too long, that's where the Giants are going to be happy. Now, Hourglass is available if they're going to jump in there. You've got, Guardian Angel and Jims that hasn't been popped. He's got that available as well, and it looks like the fight might happen.
They're going to try and poke it back and forwards, and of course, Maluna's intervention's been the turning point currently for Dragonborns, but with that Zhonya, Samox has always been the first target, and there it is. Now they're going to go for it. It's Hosan's the target. They force him away. They're going back in towards Samox. Samox pops that Zhonya's Hourglass. Is it going to be enough? They're switching across. Jim Bones has been dived on so heavily. Shushe with the intervention can't take down Jim Bones. We see Maluna trying to get in there, but Jim Bones still alive. Hasn't had his Guardian Angels popped, but Hosan off the side there. Here is a double kill for Samox. Meanwhile, Hosan's going to get chased down. It's another double kill. And wow, Spontex, the last man standing, running for his life away from that crazy, crazy bear. But Giants are going to turn the game around and pick it up against the Dragonborns. What a fantastic match. Very aggressive, 72,000 even goal between the two. But it's all about the Giants' crowd control. They had it perfectly positioned in the team fights, and the Nexus goes down. The Dragonborns go down to the Giants.
The focus there from the Giants was on point. They picked a single target, they blew them up, they moved to the next target. Awesome team fight there from the Giants, and they defeat the Dragonborns.
Well, you've got to wonder, did Dragonborns not focus early on when they had that big advantage? Were they not getting the damage down on the right targets? The Giants managed to man it up, fails it out, and wow, fantastic performance. We're going to go over to our analyst desk. We are joined by yet another special guest. Let's see who it is with Joe and Jason.
Thanks a lot, Demon. An amazing game there, and well, quite fitting that we have an amazing personality with myself and Jason here. Of course, Crepo from Evil Genius is a support player. First of all, Crepo, thanks a lot for taking time out of what is your free day today for coming to join us.
You're welcome.
So, talk us a little bit through that game. 47 minutes, 45 seconds long. A pretty long game, but really, really back and forth. I mean, it ended 20 kills to 22 in the end. So, really close stuff. We've got a few moments in there that change it, but give us your overall thoughts on it.
Yeah, pretty exciting game. Definitely more exciting than the average Evil Genius game you watch. I think let's get that out of the way.
Glad you said that.
I'll be the first one to say that. I liked it. It just snowballed from the beginning for Giants. They had a really, really good start because of the failed delayed invade. Like the bot lane got it rolling. But then, like, coming to a mid game, they kept pushing their lanes, and they kept getting caught by like the mobility roam comp and the TP from Vi, and like the mobility boots on the Kazakhs really helped as well. So Giants actually like started losing their lead there mid game because they kept getting caught off. When they finally realized they had the group, then you could see that they were still down in gold but winning those fights because they had this really cohesive teamfight comp that had disengage, like the crescendos pretty much every time. Like the Dragonborns lineup is an all-in lineup. They will all group up and go for that one target. Just so they will all be in Rise AoE, they will all be in the Sona crescendo, and that's what you see in a few teamfights that Giants won the game.
So, Jason, we actually prepared a couple of replays. We actually probably could have showed about 5 or 6 from this game, actually.
Well, I mean, Kerpo, you mentioned in the beginning there was a really strong start for Giants with delayed invade, but the first replay is actually pretty much focused on that specifically. We're going to get that on your screen, and you can kind of describe for us what's actually happening here and what led up to Giants winning this 2-4 exchange.
So basically, it started off with Dragonborns. They had a plan. They wanted to get the Volibear at the blue buff, but he started red buff, so their delayed invade failed, which led to Caitlyn and Sona pushing an entire wave into the tower already. So they got level 2 first. So Sushi's reaction is, damn, my bot lane is behind. Let me go help them. So he runs through a river, but he gets spotted by a ward. So meanwhile, Ryze is still in the mid lane, and he's like, okay, I'll take another wave, and I'll get level 3. So note that Ryze will be level 3 when he teleports in, and Vi's only level 2. Because they have the ward there, they see him coming, and now what will happen is Sona and Caitlyn will start retreating and hitting Taric and Ezreal a few times, but they lose this fight, they lose this engage. Hosan's still level 1. Movert only level 2 now, is coming in now, and then this is where the Ryze TPs. They go in for Shushe. Shushe gets exhausted. That's what wins the fight. They exhaust on Shushe, then Babetta heals up. Hosan tries to get her, doesn't work. Exter cleans up. And this is so beautiful. It's all the reacting TP play works because they knew it in time. If they got surprised, then it was too late. If they got surprised, then they lose and the TP has to get cancelled, like you saw a few times in the game. If they're too late at TPing, often they end up cancelling it. But this time they saw them coming, they had good ward coverage, and they basically had the XP advantage, and that's what gave them a huge lead. Because later, they'll get the tower early, the bot lane will get frozen by Ezreal, trying to like, get back in the game, deny Caitlyn the farm, but then she just goes mid with Sona and pushes down the mid lane and catches Shushe, gets 2 towers there, and an enormous lead for Giants. Just all snowballing from this one play. Yeah,
you mentioned while we were watching the game that a lot of level 1 action kind of doesn't really get talked about too much, but that level 1 action we saw right there gave them a huge lead in the beginning. It helped them snowball. Unfortunately, they kind of let the lead slip a little bit as you were talking about how Dragonborns came in with the picking them off 1 by 1 kind of thing. We do have another replay, and this is after a big team fight in the top lane where Giants finally got back in the game. They finally won a team fight right there. Fight.
They won already, then they lost it again, and then they went to bottom. Even though they're down what seems like 9,000 gold, you can just see that the fact that they have such a cohesive teamfight comp will still win them the fight here.
Yep, and we're going to get that on your screen for you guys. And you wanted to point out something in particular right here, which we'll go ahead and go up to. And it was the crescendo, which you mentioned earlier. Babetta completely controlled that fight, and we'll have you go ahead and explain that, and we'll pause it right when that actually does come out.
So yeah, good catch on Spontex, and this is
right there.
This is good. This is it. Basically, Spontex get caught. Reaction is really good by Maluno doing the intervention, making him invulnerable. So this is like a 2-second window where Dragonborns can roll over Giants team because they have all their damages are full HP or invulnerable. But then the crescendo comes in, and that 2-second window gets nullified because of the crescendo. So when the fight goes on, they will start focusing Akali now, who jumps in, and he basically gets the attention away from Ryze and Caitlyn. Caitlyn is constantly attacking that fight. It's really, really good to see. The Volibear as well gets really low, flashes out. That's the key point as well. Flashes out, heals up a bit, another fling, just a little bit more damage. Meanwhile, Ryze and Caitlyn are still whacking away, and they win the 3v3, and this is what wins them the game.
Yeah, it was very well played right there by Giants. I mean, you mentioned they're down so much gold, and yet they're able to come back. And, we do have to kind of mention is that Jimbles wasn't touched that entire fight. Yep. And
he built a Guardian Angel in case he gets hit, but he gives this psychological effect that they're like, yeah, he's going to revive anyway, let's not hit him anymore. And yeah, the focus on Volibear kind of lost him the fight, and on not touching Caitlyn at all lost him the fight.
And you also mentioned, during what we were talking a little bit, is that we did see Dragonborns finally go for a push in the mid lane, but why didn't that work?
Basically, Dragonborns is a lineup that works around picking people off. So, and they're really good at catching people, but they have an all-in team fight. They don't have the good tower push. They don't have a lot wave clear, not good range. If you play that against Giants, you have to walk into a Volibear, walk into a Ryze. You can't catch Caitlyn unless you commit fully to the team fight. And then there's a crescendo in your face and an exhaust. And it's really hard to push that. So even though Giants is behind, if they play it smart, they group, they will win every team fight because it's so predictable what Dragonborn is going to do, because all they can do is rush in and engage.
Well, thanks a lot, Crepo. We'll be sitting down a little bit later on for more of a chat, bit more in-depth interview. But for now, we're going to go over to the stage where Shox is waiting with Samux.
Thanks, Joe. I'm here with Samux, the top laner. Samux, starting from the beginning, a crazy match. Can you tell us about the setup and maybe if you think that you had it stronger right from the beginning?
Yeah, we knew their setup was better early game, so we just made the game long, and we knew the late game was ours.
The game was very back and forth. At what moment did you take the game that you know, this is it, we're going to win it?
We knew the game was ours when we killed them at the bot lane and we got the inhibitor.
Okay, now you're doing very good in the LCS. Do you think the Giants have what it takes to take a grab at that Summoners Cup?
Yeah, I think we can. If we train a lot and we make some tactics, I think we can do it.
Okay, thank you very much, Samex. Now, let's remind you of your Twitter question. Which player has impressed you the most in the LCS so far and why? You can tweet us at LOL eSports, #LCS. And remember, we have Crepo with us here in the studio. You can tweet your questions for him at LOL eSports, #LCS. If you have any questions for the casters, same story. Now, when we come back, it's going to be Fnatic versus AAA. Fnatic doing very good yesterday. AAA grabbing their first victory yesterday, so don't go anywhere. Thank you.